matchup under the lights at Regal Stadium. Tigers looking for their first road win. Tennessee looking to defend the home surface. Here's what Stephanie Golan, her second season. Big draw on Friday against Mississippi State. She makes just one change.
Absolutely. Stephanie Golan has done a great job in her second year. She's really focused a lot on defense. This defensive team, you'll watch them tonight. They'll be very compact and difficult for Tennessee to get through.
First-year head coach Joe Kurt goes with the 3-5-2. He makes no changes from what was a big win against Ole Miss.
No, they did a great job coming out against Ole Miss. They were ready to play. I see Tennessee tonight really trying to possess the ball, trying to stretch Missouri out into the widths and trying to get the balls played into the middle to Jada Thomas.
Already mentioned Jada Thomas. She has a lot of creators around her who help in this Tennessee effort. One of the stronger offenses in the SEC against one of the better defenses in the SEC. Missouri, 2 shutouts in conference play. Tennessee averaging a little bit above 3 goals per match. Should be a thriller as we kick off this October battle here in Knoxville. Here's Katz. Lays it off Huff. Trying to work it back to Romig in between the sticks tonight for Tennessee.
And Tennessee really likes to possess the ball out of the back. It's something they're going to have to be careful tonight in making sure that they don't put anyone under pressure where they don't need to be, just like there. They play the ball back. They need to get and play a little bit more direct sometimes instead of dropping backwards and getting their teammates into trouble.
Some early pressure from Kylie Simmons, a freshman forward for the Tigers. Tennessee in that 3-back set, a little bit of a different look than this Volunteer team has seen in years past. Simmons, service to the center. Takes a head out. Here's Fisher. Only change from Missouri, lays it off to a teammate. It'll be a goal kick for Tennessee. It's the Tigers team looking for their first ever win here at Knoxville. They've never beaten Tennessee in Knox. Volunteers have owned this series for the most part. They lead things 7 wins, 2 losses, and just 1 draw to Missouri. It was a thriller last season in Columbia between these two. Came down to overtime, but remember, no overtime this season. You play 90 minutes, and that's it.
I know. That's the one thing about college soccer that makes it different than all the other leagues out there is that you do the 90 minutes and you're done. If it's a tie right now, it's a tie, and that's how it stands.
Took a golden goal for Tennessee in the 105th minute. A lot of these players, I'm sure, remember that matchup. Missouri looks to rewrite that from last season. Here's George, right at about midfield. Tigers put 2 on her. And a whistle blown, foul on the Tigers. It'll be a free kick for Tennessee.
Well, and that's one thing. Tennessee is great 1v1 defending in the back. They've been very successful this year on their 1v1 defending. It's their collective defending and then their patience with the ball. Sometimes I think they get a little bit too comfortable and passing back and forth in the back, and they put themselves into trouble.
How much of an adjustment is it going from where, like a Tara Katz, she's played 4 years in a 4-back, and now she's got to adjust to it being a 3-back?
Yeah, I think it can be a big adjustment. You're used to having that extra player back there, and you're used to having one more person to kind of play the ball through. Those passes are a little bit shorter when you're knocking the ball through the back, and it's Tennessee. They like to pass the ball around in the back. They like to resort, kind of get things sorted back out and look up the field again. But I think that 3-back has just been a little bit of a change for them to adjust to those length of passes and when to go backwards and when to move forward.
Every SEC team is going to show something a little bit differently. Stephanie Golan said in their win or in their draw against Mississippi State, that's a Bulldog team that's extremely physical. A lot different look for Tennessee, who likes to possess the ball a bit more.
Yeah, I think Mississippi State leads the SEC right now in fouls, so that's a huge difference to Tennessee, who has had the least number of fouls this season so far.
You don't have to be aggressive to get results. Tennessee certainly has had that approach. Mississippi State may be a different tactic, but Every team does things a bit differently, so a different look for the Tigers, and I'm sure Tennessee will feel the same coming off a big win against Ole Miss. Ball played forward, Jada Thomas. Left side of the 18 works it back. Dumps it off. Taylor Huff now chasing after it, and a good deflection in towards that goal line, and it's kicked out Tennessee corner.
And that was kind of surprising that Jada took the ball back all the way around to the top of the 18. I would have liked to see her like a little fake and get back inside.
Tennessee 12 corner kicks compared to Ole Miss's 2 in their 1-0 victory on Friday in Oxford. They're one of the best in the nation in terms of earning these corner kicks. Missouri is as well, so that's a point to look out for. Tennessee corner number 1 here this evening. It is Fusco. She goes near post, but no one's home. Do it again, quarter number 2. Fusco again from the spot. Lawson Rennie was there on the receiving end. It goes over her head, pinballing around in the 18 now. Here's Mackenzie George, fires one. Rennie still battling. It lands at Thomas's feet. She flicks it up off the post. Hollenbach is there, but just nearly a Jada Thomas goal in the early going.
And that is where Jada Thomas can be so dangerous. The ball just pops out, and she is putting it back on frame. Unfortunately for her, it hits right off the post and right into Hollenbach's hands, but what a great series there for Tennessee.
Just a scenario where the Tigers just could not get a clearance, and you never want the ball to land right at Jada Thomas's feet.
They couldn't get a clearance, but they were also still real compact in that 18. They had a large number in there. They just have to make sure they get the ball cleared out quicker. You see, they just could not figure out a way to get the ball cleared, and Jada Thomas is just so good at getting that final touch on the ball towards the goal.
Ball hops out for Fusco now. Tennessee was bearing in on goal again. Tigers able to punch it back out. Stephanie Golan, when asked how she's going to deal with a threat like Jada Thomas with an attack threat that Tennessee possesses, says you have to be disciplined in the box. They've got 5 that they compact in there, but you can't let Jada Thomas have any sort of breathing room.
No, you cannot let her receive the ball in the box if you want to keep her from scoring. She is so tough in there. She's great at just a simple little flick, just one little touch, and she can be dangerous.
That was almost a fantastic early goal for Thomas. It flirted with the line a bit, almost looked like it could have gone over. But the ruling on the field, they can't go back and look at things. It will be a no goal, but a good early first chance for Tennessee. Good move from Katz. Gives it away at midfield. Selm flips it to Oduyoye. Tries to find her teammate Zukowski, and it runs out of play past the touchline. It's a Tennessee team that returns back home to Knoxville after 2 weeks on the road. They've kind of worn the mantle of road warriors in the SEC to start. They've got 3 conference wins. All 3 of them have been away from Knox. Their one loss was here to Alabama 2 weeks ago in a game that Joe Kurt says wasn't really what they want in terms of their competitiveness, their discipline. They feel like they've reestablished themselves recently.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said for getting your team going on the road. There's sort of a bit of control that the coaches and everyone can have with the team. They all eating at the same places, all doing the same things, and I think Tennessee has been successful this year on the road, maybe for that very reason. They've just got to figure out how to get some wins here at home.
Team that was a perfect 10-0 at home last season. They've certainly faced some really tough competition here. Only one chance in SEC play, and it's a really good Alabama team. And what was a 4-2 defeat 2 weeks ago. We asked Joe Kerr what was the secret. What's been working so well on the road? He's like, there's not really been anything in particular. Just we're sleeping good. We're being disciplined. Just kind of that mindset you get into when you're in a hostile environment. You can put yourselves in Missouri's shoes. I'm sure they're feeling the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Tigers looking to run. Open space down that right wing. Zukowski was chasing Claire Rain there to cover.
And that's something Tennessee's going to have to be aware of. If Missouri starts running at them, they are going to counter quickly, and they're going to get forward and try to play a little bit direct, because they stay so compact defensively that they're going to look to immediately turn the ball around and catch Tennessee on their heels.
So you may see Tennessee own a lot of possession. That's the style they play to, but it's not necessarily a fault of Missouri. That's just they're waiting to kind of capitalize in those spaces, quickly transition attack, correct?
It is. Part of that is just I think they're so young. Missouri's so young. They've got to start somewhere, and they've started defensively, and they have great 1v1 defenders. They've got a team that knows how to stay compact in the back, and then they're going to build out from there. They have some good threats. They like to get wide, but I think tonight you're going to see that it's going to come mostly on counterattacks.
There's Stephanie Golan. She mentioned this is her first time ever in Knoxville. She was asking for dinner recommendations. Is the weather going to be good enough to walk in the morning? And we saw her before the game. She said everything's been great. I mean, the weather's perfect. What more can you ask for? A little bit of bumps on the road getting down here, but her team is here, and they've been really competitive every single SEC match. They hope to do the same tonight.
Yeah, we couldn't have dialed up a better night for them to play soccer.
So the team had some issues getting over here plane-wise. A long trip from Columbia. They made it. Enjoyed a nice dinner. Now dialed in for this one. Here comes Mackenzie George on a big run, but it's offside. The flag is up.
Yeah. Dimpa Supel plays a great ball here. She gets her head up early, sees George is making that run down the line, and she just, I think, was a hair offsides. Great ball in behind the defense. She was just about 1.5 yards offsides.
Certainly had a lot of room to run. First offside of the evening for Tennessee. Here's Simmons. Working hard there with Lawson Rennie. Somehow Simmons gets around the defense. Simmons, space, tried to center it. Goes down in the 18. Clear back to Zukowski, who lets it rip.
And that's where Missouri does it great. They broke down the defense here. They get forward. They get a chance. Tennessee's unable to get the ball totally cleared here. You think they've won it here. They don't clear it all the way, and Missouri comes up with a great shot, testing Roman on their line.
Shot from Elena Zukowski, the freshman midfielder. Second shot of the evening already for Missouri. A really good run from Kylie Simmons. That's another freshman. It's a really young Missouri team. They've got 7 freshmen who have made starts this season, just 2 seniors who have made starts. You almost get the sense that Stephanie Golan has come in. She's inherited some good pieces, but it's almost a slow build to kind of get where she wants this program to be.
Yeah, I think she recognizes that it's going to take some time. It's going to take some years getting under her belt. I have, of the 17 players that have played for Missouri this year, 7 of them are upperclassmen, which is the complete opposite of what is going on at Tennessee.
Certainly can see, though, the statistics are there in terms of improvement. You lose 50% of your minutes from last year, but this is a team that already has been a lot more competitive so far the first half of conference play than they even were last year.
Yeah, I think it's a testament to these kids coming in and really buying into Stephanie Golan's program. They're really hunkering down and respecting what she wants them to do, and they're going to be successful because of that.
We've gotten 2 positive results against ranked teams in SEC play. A big win against Auburn to open up SEC play, and then that draw against Mississippi State on Friday. And they've just been really sharp in every other game, even though they've got 2 losses to LSU and Vanderbilt. They've been right in there all the way to the wire. Here's George, tangled up for a moment, turns and fires right off the mitts of Hollenbach. She's got it.
There, and you saw Mackenzie George's strength right there. She's able to receive the ball with her back to goal, hold off her defender. She is not impatient. She takes her time, gets a little tiny look at the goal, and blasts one.
Bella Hollenbach, SEC Freshman of the Week after 6 saves against Mississippi State. That's an experienced attacker, Mackenzie George. One thing that Joe Kurt said he wanted this offense to do was to test Hollenbach early. They obviously respect her and how she's been playing, but she still is a young keeper.
Yeah, she's definitely young. She's learning to be in position, at the right position at the right time. She's done a great job so far this year, but I think all these SEC teams are going to know we're going to have to test her and make sure that she's, not taking a break during the game and is always on her game.
Stephanie Golan says that Hollenbach has just continued to gain more and more confidence as the season goes on. But she did say this is probably the toughest offensive transition we have seen up to this point in SEC play. Here come the Volunteers again. Maria Nelson, nifty move. Deflection on the center. Fusco off her head. Odioye is able to clear it away. Good turn from Fusco. Great movement in on goal. She's got range. She fires right over the crossbar.
Well, and that's what Stephanie Golan did say. This is one of the best offensive teams that they're going to see this season and have seen thus far. And that's because Tennessee's a threat. Taking people on 1v1, you see Fusco here just gets around her defender, gets her head up for a second, and checks to make sure that Hollenbach's staying on that line. Great shot by Jordan Fusco and just barely missed.
That is not outside her range. We have seen Jordan Fusco hit some shots from distance. She did so against Alabama here 2 weeks ago to open up the scoring, and she's really comfortable from even outside the 18.
Right, and that's, Tennessee is trying to work on possession. They're trying to build the ball out of the back a lot this year, but they also can play direct, and that's something that's going to be a threat to Missouri is they can do both of those things. There's not a lot. You get a lot of teams that are either a direct style or a possessing style, and Tennessee is one of those kind of hybrid teams that does well at both.
Another good ball out right. Taylor Huff working on Pettit makes a nice move. She's central and was looking for either Fusco or Thomas there. Here's Deepa Supel. She finds Huff. Fusco possessing. Another good turn from Jordan Fusco, well worked. Deflection off the center from Deepa Supel. It's going to be corner number 3 for Tennessee.
And that whole series started right there. You go all the way back to Claire Rains making a mad dash to the sideline to save that ball to keep Tennessee in possession of the ball and with numbers forward.
Tennessee in hot pursuit of what would be an opening goal. Missouri, they've only allowed 4 total goals in 4 games in SEC play. Their defense has been their strong suit. Fusco again from the spot. Out long, it's Nelson. Nelson back in, can't find a head. Fusco laying out for it, but Missouri has it working the other way now. They don't quite have the numbers. Launch it into some open space. Tennessee has it back. Here's Rain. Deepa Supel. Playing a long ball in, looking for Mackenzie George. She's got speed. Deflection. It should be another Tennessee corner, but looks like it will be last touch Tennessee. Goal kick Missouri.
Yeah, you see Tennessee building the ball out of the back. Deepa Supel gets the ball, gets her head up, sees George making that run down the line, plays her into space, and it's a threat that Tennessee, is going to get some quality chances if they can keep finding that space behind the defenders.
Goal Kick will give us time to tell you that Sunday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on the SEC Network, we'll host our latest episode of True South with John T. Edge traveling around Madisonville and Camp Britton, Tennessee, meeting the locals, eating good food, and talking about the South. That is True South right here on the SEC Network. Really good pass there from Kylie Simmons. Springs forward good for just a moment. Tigers couldn't play it any further. Relentless pursuit though. Fisher takes a good deflection. There's Thomas weaving. Midfield, Taylor Huff-Such, a good runner with the ball. Huff looked like it could have even been a shot from that distance. It takes a deflection past that goal line, and Tennessee now has a corner.
Taylor Huff is one of those players. She breaks down teams individually. It is a phenomenal thing to watch. She's able to receive the ball in midfield and streak down the field, taking players on 1v1. She's a constant threat. She's also able to find her teammates' feet.
Tennessee averages about 7.5 corners a game. This is their fourth, 20 minutes in. Dangerous ball right across the face of net. Looks like it could have been offside on Tennessee. Will be a goal kick for Missouri. Jenna Bartels comes in for the Tigers. First substitution for Stephanie Golan, the junior forward from Frisco, Texas. Cameron, about 20 minutes into this first half, still scoreless. What are you noticing here in the early going from both sides?
I think both teams are doing a good job of possessing the ball. Tennessee's held the possession a little bit more. Part of that is they're just holding onto the ball in the back and building out more. But Missouri's had some chances. They've just got to figure out how to get that final pass. And hopefully Tennessee, from their defensive perspective, can keep making good decisions and not allowing Missouri to have some easy chances.
Long ball looking for George. Pettit is there. Missouri repossessing. Trying to play that open space again down the right side. The Tigers have been trying to work it towards that area. Cats working it up for George now. Tennessee slowing things down. That time maybe miscommunication. Nelson looking to play it further to George. Looking for Keegan Good there. Fusco now with space. Directly middle. Rushing forward again. Good touch from George. Here's Huff. Taylor Huff rolls one for another Tennessee corner.
And I think Tennessee, that was a better series of possession for them. They knock the ball around, they come up down one side, back through the back, and they collectively get forward as a team. The ball gets up to Mackenzie George. She recognizes that she's not going to be able to turn and face it, drops it to Taylor Huff, who's able to take a couple touches and try to get a shot on goal, deflected out by Missouri for a corner kick.
First time Tennessee will take it from the right side of the field. It'll be Claudia DiPasupal this time. Off the head of Rennie. Huff gave it a touch, and Missouri able to punch it away. Good hustle from Fusco to win the ball back. Long ball for Nelson. She's free. Looks to center it back to Thomas. Corner number 6 for Tennessee. Chance after chance for this Volunteer team. No goal to show for it yet, but they're getting themselves in the right opportunities.
Yeah, they're definitely, their possession is allowing them to create corner kicks for themselves. They've just got to figure out how to get numbers behind the ball and making sure they're making the goal bigger than it is.
DePasupal again. Easley was there, first touch for the Tigers. The forward will now sprint forward. And Terry Katz will just launch it the other way. Goal kick for Missouri. Tennessee team, as we mentioned, looking to continue to ride some momentum following their 2 wins on the road in their last 2. Back in the top 25. They're ranked 19th now. They've won 7 of their last 8. And Cameron, we were kind of mentioning how their season has almost been like a wave. It had some really tough competition early, then you settle things out, a little bit of an easier non-conference slate, and then, you're back in SEC play again. I think they've settled.
Yeah, the SEC is a tough conference. Like we mentioned before, every single game you're adjusting to a different team, different tactics, and I think Tennessee has suffered from that a little bit early on in this SEC.
Fusco, well one of the ball. Tennessee continues to add pressure. Here's Huff. Trying to get it over to Nelson, and it runs out of play.
Yeah, I think Huff held onto the ball just a little bit too long there. I think when she first received that ball, she had Nelson wide. She could have just turned, played her in, and Tennessee could have had a nice cross in.
First subs for Joe Kurt in Tennessee. Hannah Zalewski is on. Claudia DePasupal aside. Hannah Zalewski took an injury against Florida. She returned on Friday against Ole Miss, played 23 minutes, and she's kind of been that fixture in the lineup when Claudia DePasupal was also getting back from an injury. So Zalewski first off for Tennessee and Joe Kurt. Early impact, a good touch to win the ball back from Zalewski. Can't quite play it to Fusco.
Yeah, I think they just had a little mismatch in communication right there. Fusco wanted the ball at her feet. Zalewski played down the line, but Zalewski was tough enough to be able to turn around and win that ball back.
It was Zalewski in this game last year in Columbia who had the golden goal game winner in the 105th minute. Good ball from Boughton, one from Easley. Easley, a shot from distance, not near Romig, as it runs out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think easily she gets the ball at her feet, she turns and looks up. She was a little bit off balance, and Joe Kirk talked about this in our phone call with him earlier this week, that taking a shot, you've got to make sure you're selective about your shots. You don't want to be taking a shot when you're off balance, when you're kind of getting knocked off the ball. And that right there, I think easily you see she was kind of falling away and wasn't able to get a good foot behind the ball.
Tennessee certainly has dominated in terms of just chances created. Sometimes you get that glimpse of goal, and it can be tempting just to let it rip. Thomas dispossessed. Leah Selm, throw here for Missouri.
That's the one thing about Jada Thomas, though, is she battles all over the field. She loses the ball, she's going to immediately look to win the ball right back.
Tennessee does win the ball back. Taylor Huff, so good on the run. Pairing with Fusco, a lethal combination. Fusco, make George chase after it. Can she get there? Somehow battling with the ball. Missouri, they do all they can just to clear that away. So it was Bella Carrillo battling there with Mackenzie George. No score here in Knoxville between Tennessee and Missouri. Volunteers on the attack. Fusco, here's Thomas, tries to poke it through. but it's just wide left.
I think that's Jada Thomas. I cannot speak to this enough. The way that she is able to get just a tiny little touch on the ball. Fusco turns, gets a good look, it bounces off. Jada Thomas never gives up. Most people, I think, would try to shoot that with their left foot. She takes a little right-footed touch and is almost able to seek that right neck right by Hollenbach.
And when talking about Jada Thomas, Joe Kurt, he said, most of the goals you see clearly are not in terms of just making a run, beating a defender. It's more just battling right in front of the goal, winning that ball, just unrelenting pressure, and that's how she gets most of her goals.
She is so strong. She's so strong when she's going in on tackles. She is strong when she's battling physically in the box against defenders. She is a fun player to watch in the box.
Already 10 goals as mentioned. 35 total career goals for Jada Thomas. She's climbing up the program record board, already second all-time in Tennessee history, just past Hannah Wilkinson. She's got 8 to go to tie Kylie Rossi, who was a Tennessee Vol from 2005 to 08. Joe Kurt was also quick to compliment a lot of the shot creators around Jada Thomas. She wins those goals right in front of the net because a lot of times these creators are servicing into her or creating shots that then deflect and allow her to be creative.
Absolutely. I think Jada Thomas would speak those words herself too, that it takes a whole team in order for someone to score a goal. And she has great people. Hannah Nelson playing the ball in, Claudia Dempasupel, Zakowski. They're all great players around her that serve her great balls.
See where Jada Thomas sits, clear in second, 10 goals in what is her redshirt junior year. Kylie Rossi, 43 goals, is still at the peak of the summit. She averaged about 4.5 goals per game. Jada Thomas is on pace. She's scoring about 7 goals per game each time she steps foot out on the soccer pitch. Missouri back to their substitution bench. They throw back in Kylie Dobbs, their leading goal scorer. Sophomore forward from Dallas, Texas, has certainly been that super sub that Stephanie Golan has loved to go to. And she, like Jada Thomas, is really good at battling.
Yeah, Kylie Dobbs has done a great job this year. She comes in as off the bench. She's a little spark for the Missouri team. She scored some goals quickly, whether that's because she has found herself in the right position or because she's created something, but she's been a lift for this Missouri team as soon as she comes into the game.
You see team leading goal scorer, you assume, maybe you're the starter, but in this instance, Stephanie Golan says it's almost an advantage for Dobbs to come in. The game is already settled. You're right, you can kind of see some patterns, and that's when you capitalize. Missouri certainly looking for that spark. Things are even here so far in this first 45 of action. 90 minutes will be played here tonight. No overtime. If things in a draw, it will be a draw. Ball played forward, looking for Dobbs, trying to get her first chance in front of goal.
And there you saw the discipline of the Tennessee back line. They let Missouri run at them a little bit. They recognize as they get closer to that 18, they've got to start closing her down. We have I think it was Lawson Rennie steps up and everyone else stays back to make sure that they're matched up with their players so that she can't play the ball in behind them. And Lindsay Romig is able to scoop that ball up.
Communication extremely key with the 3-back, with the keeper Lindsay Romig. So far, Tennessee has held their shape well. Other sub for Tennessee, Giselle Washington on, Abby Burdett off. Though for the Tigers in Oduyoye. Lawson Rennie able to win it back for Tennessee. Quickly flip over to that right side. First touch there for Washington. Bartles the other way. Zaleski from behind, able to poke it loose.
Yeah, Zaleski does a good job to track back, win that ball, and immediately get herself wide so that Clarion can play that ball right back out to her. Touches it to Jordan Fusco, who just gets crushed from behind. Good call by the ref.
Been a fairly clean game up to this point. That's just the third foul so far in the first 45. We've got about 11 minutes to go. Cameron Simmons, the freshman, into the match. A tempting ball for Fusco. Simmons in pursuit. A lot of energy off the bench for Cameron Simmons. Just nearly won the ball.
And I love it. I was a defender in college, but I love when I see my forwards battling it out, wearing those defenders down up there.
And this part of the first 45 looks almost completely different, does it not? As Missouri looking to make a run. Rennie right on Larson. And that's the SEC Defensive Player of the Week making a stellar play.
Lawson Rennie, we talked about it. Tennessee is great at their 1v1 defending. It's going to find it hard to have anyone that can beat them 1v1. She does a great job. She tracks back. She's patient. She waits for that errant touch, and then she's able to clear the ball out.
Lawson Rennie has played all 90 minutes of every SEC game. Shut out a big part in her being that anchor in the back three. And that was a great play on what was a streak from Jessica Larson. Here's Pettit for Missouri. Looking to find Carrillo. It'll be Tennessee free kick.
Yeah, Dobbs with a handball there. She tried to sneak one past him, but the referee saw it. It was a good call.
At this point, Cameron, it's almost a completely different feel. You've got substitutions on, not the same 11 you started with. At this point, with about 9 minutes to go in the first half, what would either team be hoping for at this point? Obviously the breakthrough goal, but it just is a completely different look.
Yeah, Missouri hasn't had continuous chances. Tennessee has. I think Tennessee still wants to press. They still want to get forward, possess the ball, create chances. And I think Missouri is, hanging on right here, hoping that maybe they'll sneak one by. It'll have to be on a counterattack, but I think their focus has really been on closing Tennessee's possession down.
Some more late half subs on for both ends. It's Jenna Stayert, Tennessee. Sydney Hennessy on. Ashlyn Mills on for Missouri. Here's Fusco. Tigers are there to clear it away. It's Kyla Johnson, the other substitution for Missouri. Here's Taylor Huff battling 3 Tigers at the moment. Ball past the touchline. Another Tennessee throw. Quickly goes Huff. Missouri really packing things in. Zaleski. Fusco got an extra touch off the deflection, but the Tigers really keeping Tennessee's offense at bay.
Yeah, Tennessee there Missouri stretched Tennessee, pulled them out wide. We have a great cross that goes into the box, but Tennessee doesn't have numbers up there. They've got to figure out a way how to get more numbers in the box when Taylor Huff gets pulled out to the wide.
Simmons on a run down the right side, met 2 Tiger defenders. Just seems like the way Tennessee defending, there's 2 Tigers right there on every one of Tennessee's attackers at the moment. Zalewski will take advantage of the positioning she was in and wins a corner.
Yeah, you see Cameron Simmons does a great job. She wins the ball. She's able to turn, but again, Tennessee doesn't have those numbers in the box.
Corner taken quickly. Ricochets out for Stayer. Hennessy places it back in. Huff was there right off her head, but couldn't turn it towards goal.
Yeah, great chance by Tennessee. You know, that's what they need. They had all their numbers in the box. They were there. The ball gets popped out. They played in. Taylor Huff just misheads it. But, you know, that's what they need to have someone on the receiving end of that cross.
It was so wide open, it was almost strange she was there and there was no offside, but she was on and just couldn't connect in the right way. But Tennessee threatening late in the first 45. Space down the left side, a great ball for Zalewski. One-on-one, fires it through. And Johnson has it back. Good touch, Larson. Can't quite play it back forward.
Well, see, and that's what Tennessee's focus is. They want to change the point of attack. They want to change it quickly. You want to do it in a way that's somewhat unexpected. You knock the ball around, and then all of a sudden you see someone's got to run through, or you're playing the ball in behind, or you're finding someone's feet and they're beating their defender 1v1. That's how you're going to be successful against a team like Missouri that plays so tight and so compact and is definitely disciplined at getting numbers behind the ball.
Zalewski gives it away. Larson for Missouri. Finds her teammate Boughton, and it's forced out from Lawson Rennie.
And there's one of those moments for Tennessee when Zalewski's trying to win the ball back. She's trying to play it back, but it's better that she lose the ball where she was rather than play the ball back to Rain and have her lose the ball and get dispossessed closer to their 18.
Pass takes because the deflection past the touchline. Throw for the Tigers. Trying to capitalize on their positioning here. Odioye. Top of the 18. Larson back out. Ashlyn Mills chasing it. Missouri starting to get a bit of possession here to close the half. Carrillo turns and fires, and Missouri has their first corner.
This is a great job by Carrillo. She takes the ball. She's not shy. She's, you know, playing an outside back position, but she takes the ball down the flank. She's patient, and she winds up winning a corner kick for Missouri.
Missouri's only been out corner kicked once this season. They've got a long ways to climb in this matchup between two teams who win corners more than most in not just the conference, but in the nation. The Tigers will take their first opportunity with sub 3 minutes to go in this first half. Entry in right off a Volunteer head. It'll be corner number 2 now for the Tigers. They'll flip ends. Missouri trying to figure out who's going to be this set piece kicker. Will be Kylie Dobbs on the other end. These late opportunities are so important. Dobbs. And Romick has it. Two minutes to play here in half one at Regal Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. Simmons down the right side. What a move into the 18 now. And it's Pettit who then calls her redshirt freshman keeper Hollenbach to come get it.
Yeah, Cameron Simmons does a great job. She wins the ball. I wish that she would have taken a couple more touches after she turned and beat her defender. You know, she wins it. She takes one touch. She gets her head up. I wish she would have just one more touch to find a teammate's feet or be able to get a really quality chance on goal.
Simmons has been a burst of energy since subbing on here late in this first half. The freshman forward from Midlothian, Virginia. Already a brace in SEC play. Did it on the road in Tennessee's win against Lexington. She's got really good pursuit. She gets space in that attacking third.
Yeah, and she battles. She's just all over the field. She battles. She's not afraid to defend, starting as soon as she loses the ball.
Less than a minute remaining. Here in the first 45, we are even. Missouri gets a free kick. All bunch up right on top of the 18. Long service. Washington gets ahead on it. It bounces out for Pettit, the defender. Fires one in, looking for Johnson, but Zaluski got ahead on it first. Easy enough that time for Tennessee's back line. 12 seconds remaining. And Tennessee just fire one here in the closing seconds. It doesn't look like it as Missouri just launches it out of play. What will be a draw through 45. No score for either 19th ranked Tennessee and Missouri in what has been action-packed defense. A lot of opportunities, but nothing to show for. Tennessee, a couple of good chances. Thomas just nearly, but we stay even heading to the break.
Thomas has come up a couple times trying to just get a last little foot on the ball. You see Zukowski there. She's able to get a shot. Both sides battling back and forth. No one has been able to find the back of the net yet, though.
Just one shot on goal for both teams combined. Tennessee outshooting Missouri 7-4, and they certainly have dominated possession. They've had more corners, just trying to get opportunity after opportunity because it's a stout Missouri defense.
Yeah, Tennessee has won the most corners. They just haven't figured out a way to capitalize on that. They've got to keep knocking the ball in the middle, keeping numbers behind the ball, and just battling it out.
This has been a typical start for Missouri in conference play. They've only allowed 4 total goals in SEC play through 4 games. None of them have been in the first half.
No, and that's where this young team, you're going to see that as the game goes on. Are they going to take a little break here and there, and that's when other teams are going to pounce on them, and that's what we've seen from them. So hopefully Missouri will be able to keep their head in the game, try to figure out how to play that complete game that every team is trying to get to, and not have any letdowns in the second half.
Tigers the kickoff to start the second half under the bright lights at Regal Stadium. Lights in full effect on what's been an absolutely perfect fall evening in Knoxville. It's Stephanie Golan's first trip here to East Tennessee and Knoxville with the Missouri Tigers. Missouri looking for yet another positive result against a ranked team. They've done it twice already in conference play. A draw to Mississippi State last Friday, and a win to kick things off in conference play against Auburn.
In the Auburn game, I think they dominated possession and they had more shots on goal, and played very, very well against a talented Auburn team.
Here comes Nelson immediately right out of the locker room, fires one into Hollenbach, who scoops it up.
Yeah, and Hollenbach does a good job coming off her line. It's a good ball by Nelson. She just needs to either play the ball a little bit harder or probably a little bit closer to near post. But Hollenbach recognizes that early. Her defense is everyone marked up. She's able to come out and cleanly scoop that ball up.
Tigers trying to work it the other way. Boughton battling with Burdett. Abby Burdett is strong and wins the ball back. Talked about Tennessee's shutout against Ole Miss. Lawson Rennie gets Defensive Player of the Week award, but Abby Burdett is such a key part in terms of a Tennessee shutout in that holding mid position, is she not?
No, Abby Burdett is the person who is the unsung hero of this team. She battles all over the field. She is the kind of the strong force that keeps that back line protected.
We mentioned Tennessee winning at Orange Beach in the SEC tournament last year in 2021. Abby Burdett was that tournament MVP. A player whose kind of mantra last year was very underrated. You weren't going to see a lot of holding mids win Player of the Week, win weekly awards, SEC Player of the Year, but she stepped up in a major way in that tournament in Tennessee, getting that 3-0 victory against Arkansas in the championship game.
Well, she's a player that you don't say her name a lot, but you look up and you see her all over the field. She's getting forward sometimes, but she battles from sideline to sideline. She's a great 1v1 defender. She doesn't get beat very often. She's such a good, solid player for Tennessee.
Joe Kurt said at one point in the Ole Miss game, she sprinted 85 yards just to catch up to a ball. It might not have even been her ball, but she was there anyways, always giving effort and doing things the right way. Claire Rain services one in towards Hollenbach. She can't quite grab it. Did that deflect off of her glove? They're going to say it did. It's a Tennessee corner.
And this is where you see Hollenbach's youth. She comes out. She should cleanly win this ball. There should be no reason why this ball gets underneath her. I guess she takes her eyes off at the last second. The ball gets underneath her. And I think, it was hard to tell from here if she actually touched the ball, but I think the ref made the best call that he could see and gives the corner to Tennessee.
Hollenbach was pleading her case. It will be the 8th corner for Tennessee. You can see they're winning the battle so far. Just past the first half of play, no score. Claudia DiPasupal from the spot. And deflected away from the Tigers. Still danger for Tennessee. Burdett. And cleared away from Easley. Worth mentioning, how hard is it as a freshman? This is your first SEC slate. You're going up against stiff competition every week now. You're in it now, and this is your first time doing it.
Yeah, I think it's probably a little bit shocking as a goalkeeper. You move from high school to college and in the SEC. I mean,
ball played forward here from the Tigers. Boughton drops it off. It's Larson now. Flipping ends. Up from Bartles, threatening. Romig had to extend, and it gets by, and it will be a Tennessee goal kick.
Missouri does a good job. They kind of spread Tennessee's defense out. I think they got some lucky chances. This ball pops out. She does a good job of crossing it back across the goal. It gets past Lawson Rennie on the other side, and it's a great job by Missouri to kind of frame the ball and make it a little bit bigger. I think they made the right call with the goal kick.
Missouri able to win it right back after the goal kick. They now have a free kick on their end. Mentioned it's been a fairly clean match up to this point. That's just the 3rd foul on Tennessee, who is generally a very clean team. Average just above 6 fouls a match. Into the 18. Larson got a head on it around a sea of Tennessee Volunteers, but Romig is there. Here's Rain. Jada Thomas central. Past the touchline, another Tennessee throw. Cameron, you're Joe Kurt. Stephanie Golan, what are things you're telling your team here after this dead even draw through 45?
I think that Joe Kurt's probably telling his players they've got to be patient. This is a team that they knew they were going to have trouble breaking down. They've just got to remain patient, make good choices, play direct when it's on, possess the ball when it's not, and not give away silly passes just like there from Jada Thomas. You've got to be able to maintain possession.
Easley on a run forward for Missouri. Huff was able to pick her up. The Tigers owning some possession really well here at the start of the second half. Easley, another run. Rennie. A little bit more pressure on this Tennessee back line.
Yeah, Missouri's getting numbers forward more than we saw in the first half. We said they like to possess the ball. They just have to better choices in what shot selection they're going to make.
That was Leah Selm who fires it wide.
Yeah, here you see Missouri, they're turning around and putting constant pressure on Tennessee. Tennessee, has made some bad decisions in past games, but so far tonight they've made some good decisions in making sure that they're not getting dispossessed in the back very easily.
Scutella, center back for Missouri, launches it. Romig there. Saw all the highlights from that championship performance last year for Tennessee. They have aspirations to get back preseason #1 at the beginning of this season. That goes out the window at this point. But certainly coming off a championship, that puts a big target on your back. Anytime you go head-to-head with an SEC opponent, they're out to get you.
Yeah, they're out to get you. They know this is a game that they've circled on their schedule all season long. And regardless of what's happened in your season up to that point, every team wants to be able to say that they knocked off the reigning SEC tournament champion. And so Tennessee has to be prepared every single game that they come out in this conference.
Thomas was fighting, but Boughton clears it away. Nelson. Ball forward looking for Huff. Easley was there on the defense. Tennessee can't find that open space down the right side. Fisher, ball forward off the head of Larson. Rain, a really good turn. High pressure one-on-one scenario there in front of goal. Here's Katz. Really good battle with Easley. Thomas now gives it away. Leah Selm. Cameron, can you feel the intensity almost have taken a little bit of a step up there from the first half already?
Yeah, absolutely. Missouri's pressuring a little bit higher. They're closing down space a little bit quicker. They're not letting Tennessee have as much time on the ball as they had in the first half. And it's kind of shaken Tennessee a little bit. They're trying to figure that out. One thing that Joe Kurt talked about was that Tennessee constantly has to solve problems. And that's what he's going to expect from this team, is they're going to have to figure out a way to settle the ball down, get back to playing their patient soccer and letting the ball do the work, and not, instead of them running, play the ball quickly, 1-2 touches, get your head up and find a teammate.
A big part of what this Tennessee attacking group can do is make those long runs, but at times you want to be able to make that extra pass, correct?
Yeah, I think there's plenty of times when you want to make an extra pass or take an extra touch. From
the Tigers the other way, looking for Boughton. Romig runs forward to scoop up the ball, makes a little collision with Boughton, but the Tennessee keeper has it.
Yeah, and that was an unexpected play by Missouri. I think it was great. They get the ball out wide. The ball gets played to Boughton here in the middle. She does a great job. Instead of taking that first touch, she spins out of it. If she had just been able to keep her balance a little bit more, I think she could have gotten that second touch. Tennessee does a good job of making sure they had numbers behind. You see Abby Burdett there gets beat, and Lindsey Roman comes off her line, but 2 Tennessee defenders are already circling back to step into the goal just in case the ball squirts past Romig.
Cats under pressure. To back to Fusco. Missouri already 2 shots this half. Tennessee hasn't gotten one off. Fusco now making a run past midfield. Trail of steam. Dumps it off to Huff, right side. She can create a couple of good moves. Missouri packing it in for Huff. Cannot find Thomas. DePasupal. Enters it in for Huff, right off her head. There's the breakthrough for Tennessee, 1-0.
What a great goal. That, I think, goes back. We've seen Tennessee be successful when Jordan Fusco or Taylor Huff makes that run through the middle. They play the ball wide into that last final third. Claudia DePasupal gets the ball out wide, plays a great ball in. Jada Thomas, as you think is who her target is, and Taylor Huff is standing on the backside wide open with a great header to get Tennessee up 1-0. Claudia gets her heads up, find that. You think it's going to Jada Thomas, and Taylor Huff is just right there, unmarked, and that is something that Missouri cannot do. They cannot leave anyone unmarked, especially someone at the caliber of Taylor Huff.
Classic connection for Tennessee. Claudia DePasupal gets her 4th assist. Taylor Huff, her 4th goal in what's her 11th start. And finally, Tennessee is able to puncture this Missouri defense. Looking for more. Tennessee, a shot from George. One hopped right to Hollenbach.
Yeah, and it's always interesting what happens right after a goal is scored. Either it can be a time that you elevate your play, or you can let down your play and you can get scored on right back. Mackenzie George does a great job. She receives the ball. She turns quickly. She gets her head up. She stretched that defense out. And I think that that's what Tennessee needs to do. They don't need to sit back now. They need to keep pushing forward and trying to get a second goal.
We have foul on Fusco. Free kick for Missouri. Joe Kurt said entering this game, one thing that makes this offense so successful is when those wingers, when Claudia DePasupal and a Maria Nelson service balls in like that, good things can tend to happen.
Yeah, those outside, they rely on Hannah Nelson, Claudia DePasupal. They rely on their services to get in. We talked about Jada Thomas doesn't score those goals on her own. She's got to have someone that plays the ball into her.
Fantastic dish from DePasupal. Huff was there. Tennessee had frantically been searching for that all first half. Missouri had certainly stepped up on intensity to begin the second 45, and they had more shots than Tennessee up to that point. That was really their first look.
Yeah, and that's what we talk about. Goals change everything. We used to have this thing, Ange Kelly, when she was a coach here, she's now the coach at Texas, she would talk about the first 5 minutes at the beginning of a half, right before half, and then the 5 minutes right after a goal is scored. That was where you were going to kind of see what kind of team you are, and you have to be on your game during those 5 minutes because you can either get scored on or you can get a second goal right away.
Taylor Huff, SEC Freshman of the Year last year. She scored 10 goals. 9 of those came in the second half. She's really good out of those locker room breaks. Tennessee has tended to be really sharp out of the locker room. Sign of good adjustments made, a different feel. Maybe flipping ends helps, but Tennessee certainly great start to this half.
Well, I think some of it is experience, some of it is adjustments. I think it's a combination of all things. We also have to remember how young Missouri is. Second half is when they're going to have their lapses. They're tired. They're still getting used to playing as many games as they play in a SEC conference schedule. As well as the quality of caliber, the speed of play is different for these young players. So that's where you can see some lapses from a young team.
We mentioned it, Missouri, that's just their 5th goal they've allowed in SEC play. This is game number 5, and they've all come in the second half. Prior to that 57th minute goal from Taylor Huff, they'd all come in the 75th minute or later. So Tennessee, earliest goal Missouri has allowed in conference play. Here's Easley. Missouri now plenty of time still to search for that equalizer. Just under 30 minutes.
There's a lot of time left to play. Duke scored 3 goals on Tennessee in 11 minutes, so there's always a chance for everybody. Both of these teams are going to have to make sure they're elevating their play and solving the problems of the other team in order to keep possessing the ball and creating chances.
DePasupal, left side, already 1 assist in this half. Working on Bartles. Back to Burdett. You see one go through the net, gets you hungry for more. Here's Tara Katz. Nelson. Lovely move. Lovely feed, looking for Thomas DiPasupal rushing forward. She hits the deck, the ball rolls to Hollenbach.
Yeah, that backside is such a key component for teams, and it sometimes gets left out. Claudia DiPasupal does a great job of shoring that backside in. I think she wishes she could get that touch back, but a great ball played across. She's there on the backside. She just gets tripped up and isn't able to get a foot on the ball.
Save number 3 for Bella Hollenbach. Tennessee, their 4th shot on goal. Missouri yet to put one on frame. Larson tried to flip things over for Jenna Bartles. It misses. Tennessee now will make early substitutions here in the second half. Sub 30 minutes. Jada Thomas comes off for Cameron Simmons. Fusco a breather. Makaira Midgley on. Larson. Bit of a deflection off Tennessee. It will be a Missouri corner. More subs from both ends. Sydney Hennessy is on. Kylie Simmons, freshman forward, on for Missouri. This will be the first corner kick for the Tigers this half. Service in, punched away from Romig. Out for Selm. Service right back in. Romig having to work another punch. Back out, turned around from Bartles and gave it a good look.
Great series by Missouri, causing Romig to come out and punch the ball twice. It's always a scary time as a defender when you do that, but Missouri is able to keep composure, keep knocking the ball back in. Great punch out here, just can't get it quite high enough. And then here you see Missouri comes in, a great shot, almost a high kick. She's able to get her hips around and square her shoulders. She's just a little off target.
Stephanie Golan says this offense will succeed if you can get good set-piece opportunities, a really good step in the right direction in terms of trying to find that equalizer. How many more can they generate is the question.
Well, and that's something across the board in the SEC. You have to be good at set pieces. You have to be, scoring on corner kicks. You have to be able to create opportunities off of fouls and free kicks. Across the board, because I think that's going to be one way that's going to set your team apart from other teams in the SEC.
Missouri gives it away. Rennie able to clear it past midfield. Simmons has so much speed, almost able to catch up to that ball.
We mentioned it in the first half, but Simmons just does such a great job. She is running all over the field up top. She flicks that ball on, you'd think, to a teammate, and she's, out there chasing it down herself.
Energy right off the bench. That's what we've seen from Cameron Simmons. Fantastic freshman forward. Here comes Simmons for Missouri the other way. And Tennessee back line able to push it back out. Do things change for Tennessee at this point with a 1-0 advantage?
No, I think that you can't let that change. 1-0 is not good enough to kind of settle back and just knock the ball around. They're going to have to keep pushing forward, keep possessing the ball, figuring out ways to spread this Missouri defense out and create attacking chances, either getting in behind the back of the defenders or taking people on 1v1.
Couple of contacts made on that sequence. Simmons right at about midfield connected with the Tiger. Looks like it was Carrillo. Will be a foul. Stephanie Golan wanting that whistle called. She got it. Cotello, the center back, lets it ride towards the 18. Missouri looking for that equalizer. Selm trying to close in on it. Midgley pops free with it.
Yeah, Midgley did a good job there to keep possession of the ball. She kind of spins out, finds a teammate's feet wide to keep the ball out of the center of the field.
Simmons battling. Missouri wins it back. Tigers into their own attacking third. Bartles lays it off. Here's Dobbs. One-on-one with Hennessy. Dobbs turns, fires, and a deflection ricochets things away. Fisher looking for Dobbs. Winds up with Carrillo. Missouri building now. Central, a touch from Simmons. Cannot find a boot of a fellow Tiger.
Tennessee's defense doing a good job being patient there, waiting for Missouri to make a long touch. And just there you see Lawson Rennie's able to come out and win that ball.
Some added pressure to this Tennessee back line. Shutout on Friday on the road in Oxford against 13th ranked Ole Miss. For Lindsey Romick, it was her first 90-minute shutout of the year. Tennessee's 5th total as a team. Looking to stand firm here at home. Again, Tennessee looking for their first home SEC win of the year. Simmons in pursuit.
I mean, you cannot count her out. She is chasing after everything. I mean, you would think that most people get that ball played past them and they're just going to let the Missouri defenders win it and turn and come back. But Cameron Simmons chasing after everything.
And even though she doesn't win that ball there, it forces Hollenbach to have to try to get things out in a hurry just because she's right on the ball.
Yeah, you know that she's going to keep putting that pressure on, so you've got to make those decisions quick. And sometimes that means a goalkeeper is going to come off their line like Hollenbach did there, even when she doesn't necessarily want to be that far out.
Pettit trying to clear it away. Abby Burdett gets ahead on it. About 25 minutes into the second 45, Tennessee, they found the breakthrough goal they were looking for. Came in the 57th minute from Taylor Huff off the feed from Deepa Supal. There's our first yellow card of the match.
Yeah, Cameron Simmons gets that partially because of the foul that she had earlier. And then here you'll see, she's trying to win the ball. She tries to turn. I mean, I'm not sure that warranted a yellow card, but I think it was more of a makeup call from the last one. I think that their feet just got tangled up there.
Is on the freshman. We'll set up here a long free kick for Missouri. Bella Hollenbach is up. Trying to turn his bout, and Lawson Rennie, following up a fantastic performance at Ole Miss, has been really strong for Tennessee's defense.
Yeah, she does a great job at that center back position. She's a leader. She's able to kind of help organize everyone back there. Lawson Rennie and Lindsey Romick are the kind of the center points of that defensive line, and they have to make sure that they're communicating well and making sure that everyone's in position and marked up on that back line.
Well, Lawson Rennie, this is just her second year as a center back. Only a junior, but she didn't start at that position. Associate head coach now, John Morgan, summer before last year, is like, why don't we try this spot? And since then, things have worked out really well for Rennie in this Tennessee defense.
Well, I think, that's what you have to do. You have to, as a player, be willing to play in positions that you haven't necessarily played in before, and also have coaches that can recognize that it could be something, that you can do, that you can be successful in.
Ball well won in the 18 by Claudia DePasupal. Bartles was threatening right side of the frame. Another ball in. Tara Katz forced to punch it out.
Missouri has Tennessee locked in here. Tennessee can't figure out a way to get it past their defensive third, and Missouri keeps winning the ball and trying different ways to get in.
Corner kick on the way for the Tigers. Their second of the half, their fourth of the match. Carrillo able to push it right into the trees, and a good chance now for Missouri. Be Milena Fisher to take. Sophomore midfielder given the start. Going far post, head on from Pettit, the defender, but Romig is there.
Yeah, great ball in. Pettit gets a head on this ball. And what you'll see is that Missouri does a good job at trying to keep someone in front of Lindsay Romig to kind of shield her off that ball. It looks like it's Dobbs, but Lindsay Romig is dominant in there. She is a force to be reckoned with, and she muscles her way past Dobbs to win that ball.
Joe Kurt for Tennessee says that Lindsay Romig getting more and more comfortable each game, really locking in here in this second 45. Dobbs, a pass centered, deflected back out. One back from Boughton. Boughton now forces one back to Romig. That one was a bit easier.
Yeah, I think as a goalkeeper, every game that you have success and every game that your defensive line has success, it gives you more and more confidence. And I think you see that on both ends for Hollenbach and for Romig, as their defenses stay strong and they're able to get shutouts, or they're able to keep, teams off from shooting or getting shots on goal. It gives you confidence as a goalkeeper. And the same flip-flops. As your goalkeeper is coming up with big saves for you, as a defender, you start to have more confidence in them.
Stephanie Golan says it's been almost like freedom seeing Bella Hollenbach gain confidence, her defenders in turn getting confidence in her. It allows them to feel a lot more comfortable with each other, and that makes for a much happier defense.
Yeah, definitely. When you're comfortable with your goalkeeper as a defender, then you can take a little bit more risk, maybe going up and making runs forward.
Leah Selm running forward now. The Tigers had numbers there, but a good deflection. Tennessee wins it back. Taylor Huff now. Searching for Simmons, has her. Freshman forward dancing around, trying to play it through. Won it right back. Throw for Tennessee.
Yeah, it looks like Taylor Huff maybe got her foot stepped on as she and Cameron Simmons were trying to possess the ball there. She tries to play the ball, backheel the ball. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened.
Definitely got tangled up a bit. They're trying to win the ball back, their own attacking third. Tennessee not making it easy on Missouri. They've been doing a good job, the Tigers, in getting in the right positions, but suffocating defense right now from Tennessee. Here's Leah Selm. Odioye. Able to found Boughton. Dobbs now. Working on Katz, fires in, but Katz deflects it back out.
Great defense by Katz there.
Odioye fires from deep, and Romig has to force it over the crossbar.
Just as I was saying that, Katz makes a great defensive play, but again, the ball doesn't get cleared. Odioye is able to come up, take a long shot, keeping Lindsay Romig honest, and Lindsay just taps it over. And corner kick here. See, Odioye takes a great shot, just gets her head up. I don't even know if she was necessarily shooting that, but she does a great job. It didn't. And Romick does a great job, just tip that over the goal.
And what an effort from the right back. Oduyoye doesn't have a goal this season, but gave it a launch from distance at a really tight angle. But you're right, Romick with the extension, a big save. Another corner kick for Missouri, searching for that equalizer. In the air, off the head, and right to Romick. Chances building up for Missouri here late in this second 45. Tennessee, they have that 1-0 advantage. You mentioned that you never get the sense that you're comfortable with that advantage. Always looking for more, while still having the wherewithal to keep Missouri off the board. It's a tough juggling act.
Yeah, you have to make sure that you don't let down and just be content with a 1-0 lead. There's still 13 minutes left to go in this game. A lot of soccer to be played.
Here's George looking for Thomas. Carrillo forces it out for a Tennessee corner. Corner kick number 9 for Tennessee. Haven't capitalized yet off a corner kick, but certainly giving themselves chances. 10 starters returning from a championship team a year ago, but one individual they lose is Ren French, who was really key on these set pieces. Fusco. Hollenbach has to punch it away. Fusco again. Central. Nelson up high. Rennie still in the mix. Rain now battling. Past the touchline.
Yeah, Tennessee did a good job of keeping that ball near the 18. This ball comes in. Hollenbach does a great job to reach over the top of Claire Rain and punch that ball away. That was not an easy clearance to do. She does a good job.
George now rips one and just misses right off the side of the net.
And that's where Tennessee can be so deceptive. The ball comes in, it just takes just the tiniest little window for them to be able to turn and fire one on goal. George just that little half chance, and she's able to almost put this ball on frame. Just barely misses outside that post.
Tough angle for Mackenzie George, the fifth-year forward, already 4 goals this season. And she peppers the net. 3 shots a game, top 5 in the SEC, making opposing keepers work game in and game out. That was likely her best look up to this point. Cats now for Tennessee. Can Missouri build something? Tennessee doing a good job of getting back numbers. Selm. Oduyoye. Fighting forward. Has Bartles for a moment in the 18, but deflected back out. Carrillo on it. Tries to make a turn and runs past the touchline.
Yeah, just too much of a long touch. I think she got a little overly excited and just wasn't able to possess it all. It was a great series by Missouri.
Almost 10 minutes exactly, and the Tigers trail 1-0 on the road here to 19th ranked Tennessee. Volunteers a goal in the 57th minute, but Missouri certainly building some chances in an effort to equalize. Tennessee also hungry for a second. Cameron, in these final 10 minutes, what's going to have to be the difference for Missouri?
Well, I think they've had some better chances in the second half than they did in the first half. I think it's going to they're going to have to build. They like to possess the ball. They're going to have to build or force Tennessee into making a defensive mistake. High pressuring Tennessee. I think that's what we saw in the Alabama game that we're not seeing tonight from Missouri, is that Alabama was all over Tennessee's back line. Every single chance they got, they put pressure on them and forced them to make quick decisions. And Tennessee's had a little bit more time tonight defensively in making decisions and keeping possession and able to knock the ball around a little bit more.
At what point in these final 10 minutes do you go full force speed ahead on just trying to keep things in your own offensive third and not worrying as much about defensive efforts?
I think with a 1-0 lead, I don't think you can. I think you have to keep – Tennessee's going to have to keep playing their game. They're going to have to try to keep possessing the ball. We've seen in the past, as it gets closer to the 5-minute mark, they'll kind of try to waste a little bit more time, and I think they need to not do that. I'd like to see them keep possessing the ball, keep moving the ball, keep taking chances, because I have seen in the past when they've tried to take some time off the clock, that's when the opposing team gets some opportunities to counter quickly.
Goal kick for Tennessee and Lindsey Romig. Here's Larson. Touch back to Boughton. Boughton from long range took a couple of hops. Romig slides over to her right to make the play.
That was a great series by Missouri. They knock the ball around. The ball gets to Bowden. I think she's a little bit too far out, though. She's falling backwards a little bit. She's just too far out. I think they need to build a little bit more. I know they haven't had that many chances this half, but they need to maybe link one more pass up before they take a shot on goal there.
14th shot for Missouri, currently out shooting Tennessee 14-11. A couple of efforts from long range.
And I think some of what we've seen Missouri being able to possess the ball and get forward is because right now you haven't seen from Tennessee's front line that they've been maintaining possession of the ball. Tennessee's trying to play a little bit too direct right now. I think they need to build up. I mentioned before that a lot of their goals and successes have come when Jordan Fusco or Taylor Huff has made a run through the midfield and then they come out wide and then come back into the midfield, so they're building more as a team. And I think Tennessee needs to look to do that a little bit more than to just knock the ball long up to their forwards and expect them to take everybody 1v1 and create their own opportunity.
Fusco wins it in the attacking third, bearing in towards goal. Thomas now top of the 18, turns and fires.
Yeah, Jordan Fusco does a good job. She wins the ball. She gets her head up. She sees that she has some space. She takes that space. Missouri doesn't close her round wide away. She finds the feet of Jada Thomas, who is one of those players who can catch a little window and fire right on goal.
Always dangerous when the ball lands at Thomas's feet. That time not able to turn it on goal. 10 goals scored, though, on the season, and she scored 2 in her last 2. Collision, Taylor Huff. We whistled on the trip there. Selm went down.
Yeah, Taylor Huff comes in a little bit too strong. Just tries to poke at the ball and gets the foul called on her.
Tigers from distance again. That's Milena Fisher, who caught it right at the top of that arc there and just turned and fired.
Yeah, I think you're seeing Missouri's they're getting a little bit tired, so they're settling for a long shot. And I think, again, they need to keep trying to build. They've got a couple numbers for it. It's not like there's just, one or two of them. They've got about four players up in the attack. They need to make sure they're linking some passes and getting forward.
Here's Maria Nelson now with some space. Tennessee, they've got numbers going forward. Nelson into the box now, makes a good move and fires in towards Holenbach, and she's there.
Yeah, Nelson does a great job. Again, they look up She sees that she's got space. She takes that space. She moves forward. She waits for somebody to close her down, does a good move, fires a shot. Hollenbach bobbles it. Another, if Tennessee had pushed all the way forward, that could have been a chance for someone to just clean that up.
Ball the other way now. The Tigers looking to spring one loose quickly. Less than 5 now remaining here in Knoxville. Missouri has never won in Knoxville.
Great series right there by Tennessee. 1-2s, linking up passes on the sideline.
George able to win the ball, goes past the touchline, will be a throw for Tennessee. See Joe Kurt up on his feet. Final minutes of action, looking for his first home SEC win. And now George right to the corner. An attempt 1 just to keep it out of Missouri's possession, but 2, it does earn Tennessee a corner. You can see the Tigers trying to speed up the pace of play. They put the ball on the spot for them. Tennessee may do the exact same thing.
Yeah, Mackenzie George is so strong in that corner. But again, this is where I've talked about, Tennessee's done this before.
George somehow wins space, fires it through, and it's touched in from Jada Thomas. Unbelievable final effort from Tennessee.
That's exactly what I was talking about. I spoke too soon. Tennessee, when they tried and take some time off the clock, and Mackenzie George figures out a way to get the ball. She turns, she looks up, she sees she has a chance, finds Jada Thomas, who just knocks the ball right into the goal. And again, Jada Thomas just being in the right place at the right time. Yeah, George just gets here, and Thomas just takes a little flick. A lot of her goals this season have come on just that, just a slight redirection. Hollenbach just can't see the ball, and it just redirects the ball right on that near post.
I mean, an absolutely stunning effort from Mackenzie George. Somehow worked out of that pile of mess at the corner. And Jada Thomas doing exactly what she does best, just being at the right spot. Just has a knack for finding the back of the net, and that's goal number 11 for her now on the year.
She's inching her way closer.
8 goals away from breaking the program record, 7 goals from tying Kylie Rossi. She has goals in her last 3 SEC matches now. And surely that's the final punch here for this home team. Final 2 minutes of action. Thomas now bearing down. Hollenbach has to come off her line to clear it away.
And that's sort of what I was talking about. Jada Thomas could have taken a step back and just said, oh, okay, Hollenbach's going to win this ball. I'm not going to chase after it. But by chasing after that ball and putting Hollenbach under pressure, she's able to force her into just playing the ball quickly, and she knocks the ball out of bounds, and then Tennessee can possess the ball more. And as long as they have possession, then they're not going to get scored on. And so I think great job by Jada Thomas to not just give up on that last play.
Reigning SEC Player of the Week, making her impact felt late in this match. You see it, 36 career goals in just 2.5 seasons up to this point. Prolific goal scorer here in Knoxville. And what a finishing touch it was on the delivery from Mackenzie George. Real team effort tonight from Tennessee. Offense and defense really coming together.
Yeah, I think this is another thing Joe Kurt talked about was that this Tennessee team needed to win all their one-on-one battles. So that means you winning the ball, you making a good pass, connecting it with your teammate. All of the little things that you have to do to be successful in your own position will make your whole team successful. And I think you've seen more of that from Tennessee tonight.
Both these teams will be back in action on Sunday. Missouri against Florida, a team that Stephanie Golan and the Tigers beat last year in overtime. Tennessee on the road to Athens on Sunday. Final seconds running off the clock here in Knoxville. It will be a Tennessee victory. First in the SEC at home. Second shutout in a row. Dominant performance from 19th ranked Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee did a great job. They possessed the ball well today. Again, I keep harping on Tennessee has made defensive mistakes in past games. They did a great job tonight of recognizing when they could play the ball back to a teammate and when they needed to turn and look forward and play a little bit more direct. I think Tennessee overall kept more possession of the game. There was just a few chances for Missouri, and Tennessee, ends up coming out on top with 2-0.
Effort all across the board. 2 second half goals for Tennessee did the trick.